Good morning. Well, woke you up right there. All rise. Please be seated. Good morning. It is a pleasure and a privilege to welcome you to the third annual University of Oklahoma College of Law Convocation. This ceremony commemorates and celebrates both the professional and personal journey you recently embarked. Look around you. The relationships you've made and will soon make with those seated next to you, and the knowledge gained from those seated in front of you will outlast the next 3 years. They will exceed the duration of your career. In fact, they will remain a part of you for the rest of your lives. I look forward to watching you expand your talents and refine your gifts. Your contributions will better the lives of your clients, your fellow counselors, and your communities. As you rise to these challenges, I ask you to remember this: you are exceptionally qualified, you're extraordinarily capable. You are the University of Oklahoma College of Law, class of 2015. Congratulations. Welcome to the OWL ceremony and academic convocation. It's my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the OU Law School, Joseph Harroz, Jr. Dean Harroz began his legal career in Washington, D.C. as a legislative director and legal counsel to then United States Senator David Boren. Dean Harroz has practiced law with the Oklahoma law firm of Crowe and Dunlevy. He was the longest-serving general counsel in the history of the University of Oklahoma. He served as president of a NASDAQ-traded healthcare company and has taught at the College of Law for more than 15 years. In July of 2010, he became the 12th dean of the OU College of Law. One of his first acts as dean was to establish this ceremony. It is a prime example of his energetic leadership that is rooted in tradition and focused on the future. Please join me in welcoming Dean Joseph Harroz, Jr.
Thank you to Kamal Pennington. You can see why he's such an outstanding leader. I knew from the day he came here that he ended up being our Student Bar Association president. So thank you, Kamal. And would also like to thank the trumpet fanfare by the OU students that provided it: Brandon Cave, Alessandro Bonato, Kristen Waynes, and Jonathan Mosman, as well as the Boulevard Brass that we heard for providing the processional music today. So let's please give them all a round of applause. And welcome again to the third annual OWL ceremony, the class of 2015, and the 103rd class at the University of Oklahoma College of Law. When you think back to 103 years ago, the very first dean, Dean Monette of the law school, showed up, and it was a 114-degree day. And he looked around, and there were only 3 buildings that were around the entire OU campus. There was Old Science Hall, where the law school was crammed into a couple of rooms that were there. There was the Carnegie Building, and there was a burned-down Evans Hall. And he walked in, and there were no students, a burning hot day, and he looked around. And if he could see you now, sitting in this beautiful facility, all 156 of you all that are standing here, joining the last 3 classes as the 4 most qualified classes, all in a row, in the history of the College of Law, with the most talented faculty, with great depth and breadth. We have alumni giving back, with the endowment for scholarships doubling in the last 3 years. So what's going on right now, including our new John B. Turner LLM program. We welcomed them this morning, started last year, and has more than doubled this year. So things couldn't be going better. So why the formality? Why are we all together, gathered here in coat and tie, in robes, in academic regalia? And the answer is rooted in what we do, in understanding what it is and what you're entering into. On our seal behind me, we have our seal that includes the owl and some Latin words. And what do they say? They embody what the purpose of this is. And they embody what we are, as faithful servants of the law. That's the Latin phrase. And the owl is wisdom. And so we borrowed this idea from the ceremony from the College of Medicine. At the College of Medicine, they have a white coat ceremony. At that ceremony, for the first day of entering medical students, they are literally and figuratively clothed in a white coat, symbolic of the importance and honor of the profession of going into medicine. They also take the Hippocratic Oath. And our belief was that in coming in here, we should take a similar step. We should have a convocation like this so that as you enter the profession, before you begin, at the beginning of the beginning, that you'll step back and reflect on what you're entering into, that we'll take our own version of the Hippocratic Oath, that we'll clothe ourselves in something that is similar to the white coat for medicine, which is to hold in your hands, which you have a copy of, our common bond, our obligation, which is to defend the U.S. Constitution. And so we sit here today, we gather, we have the seal of the owl behind us, and we aspire to those principles. This is a noble profession. And the nobility that we have is based upon 2 things. It's service to the individual and service to society. Obligations that we have, that we always have upon entering this profession. Perspective is important. We are a very young country. And yet, we are the world's oldest continuing democracy. We are founded on an idea, not a common ethnicity, not a common religion, but a common principle. And it's based on democracy, rooted in the rule of law. That's what binds us together. And at the fore of ensuring that, of protecting that, of defending that, stands lawyers.